What is happening? Sup, y'all? Sorry, I thought I would be done eating by the time the intro ended, but I was wrong. So, sorry, that's gross. You hear me chewing and stuff. So anyway, I gotta talk about this Dear Darling Design stuff again today. Let me fix my lighting first. So, ASMR chewing, yeah. I see only like 6 of you in here. What up, Mike? What up, Fade? What up, Ben? What up, Sami, if you're still in here? What up, Donald? Good afternoon, everyone. So, good morning, Sami. It's morning for me because I've only been awake for like 2 hours. So, anyway. So, you probably saw the title of this stream, the description. I'm going to go ahead and give because I've already done 2 streams about this that are kind of piecemeal in this whole situation. So, I figured it would be helpful to do just like a complete rundown of the whole thing, especially considering the fact that I still have yet to receive a public apology. I'll lead off with the most important things, the most pertinent information. So Darra relinquished her control of the Girls Making Magic Instagram account. Sorry, it was my phone buzzing. So she did the right thing in that situation. So credit where credit is due. She did hand her Girls Making Magic account Instagram off to Kim Sarah. Make sure you follow both of those accounts because I know people were kind of like mass reporting the Girls Making Magic account. So if you could please stop doing that. That account no longer belongs to Darra. That is Kim's account. So follow both of those accounts on Instagram. First account is at KIMSAIRA. Second account is at GIRLSMAKINGMAGIC, Kim Sarah and Girls Making Magic. I'll drop links to both of those at some point. I don't feel like doing it right now. I'll do it at the end. So, I also received a sizable, and it's sizable for me because I'm broke, a pretty sizable sum of money in the form of a single donation from Dear Darling DesignsStudios behind the scenes. I won't say how much money it was, at least not just yet. But I will say that I feel like it's a pretty small fraction of the money she's made in total off of her brand. Her brand being this super hyper woke, pro-black, pro-women, pro-trans, pro all that stuff Instagram account. Her artwork and whatnot. Let me adjust the mic. Sorry, that's probably going to be kind of loud. Sorry. So, I'll begin with how I first met Darra. So, I first met Darra. I went to, and this is also going to get into a little bit of her backstory that she has crafted because there are some holes in that story, to say the least. So, I went to a school called Lansdowne High School. I originally went to Cardinal Gibbons. I was in Cardinal Gibbons for 2 years. My ADHD addled brain. Please stop canceling me money. Yeah, that's That's pretty much how I feel about it. Here's $450 for Oh, I said how much money it was, but here's $450 for canceling me. Please be quiet now. That's how I feel about it. But anyway, I went to Cardinal Gibbons School for 2 years. My ADHD addled brain would not allow me to do any type of serious work there, so naturally I failed out. I had to repeat ninth grade and failed my second hush money. Failed my second ninth grade year, and so my parents just couldn't afford to send me there anymore. It was an extremely expensive private school with pretty lacking amenities, I'll say. That school no longer exists, specifically because of how the Archdiocese of Baltimore mishandled the funds that they were receiving through people's tuition. It's a mess. Maybe I'll explain or talk about my experience with Catholic school another time. But suffice it to say, my parents could no longer afford to send me to Cardinal Gibbons School. That's how I ended up at Lansdowne. But because of how different the standards for academic achievement were at Lansdowne, a lot of my grades went from failing to passing, and therefore I was able to graduate on time and without a schedule that was too crazy. My junior year, I had to take a couple of freshman classes just because the course load was different in public school. But my senior year, I didn't have to take too many. And there's another story about that. My best friend drowned when I was 16, but story for another time. Lansdowne, pants down, yikes. So anyway, I finished out my senior year at Lansdowne. Obviously, come into contact with people there, make some friends there, Bingman being one of them, you know. And the year that I graduated was private school. A D equals a B plus at Lansdowne. No, it was more, in my case, it was more like an E or an F equals like a C minus or a D at Lansdowne. So I was able to have my grades overturned. But anyway, thanks for the like, Kev. Kev is another one of my friends from Lansdowne. So I also got a flash this one time for the one time. Anti-cop. This is an ACAB stream. So anyway, my senior year happened to be in the year 2007. Thank you for the like, Donald. My senior year, the year 2007, was like at the peak of, thanks Bingman, was at the peak of the quote unquote scene. Like the MySpace scene or whatever, I guess. And thanks for the like, Mike. So people had their like scene names or whatever on MySpace. Some of you remember it, some don't. For those of you who are not aware of what I'm talking about, it was a lot of times an alliterative name with some like extreme word. Thank you, Jimmy, for the follow. With some extreme concept or a word for the second your like scene name or whatever. So my name, Dante Destroyer. Yes, that's one. Orion Intense, for our shout out to our boy Orion. Me, it was Kevy Cutthroat. And that's coincidentally where the Dear Darling Design Studios name came from. When I first encountered Darra, and I should also first off say that Kevy Cutthroat was a joke. I was never seen. I never took part in that. I was never part of that subculture. It was literally a joke to me. So, case in point, I came across Darra, and before I even personally knew her, I had heard bad things about the way that she treated some of the people that I cared about, some of my friends. Dear Darling Design Studios. Yeah. That's what I Ashley, shut the fuck up. Okay. So, Dear Darling Design Studios. So, I encountered Darra. I became aware of her because of how shitty she treated some of the people I care about, some of my friends. So, people like Dustin, um, people you guys some of you won't know, but suffice it to say, she bullied my friends, right? And you guys should know who I am and my brand at this point. That I cyberbully the fuck out of people. I'm the cyberbully champ. So when I decided to begin going in on this person, I just attacked the scene name that they have, right? Their name at the time was DearDarlingDesignsStudios, which is like, anyway. So I was like, I came in with some completely innocuous shit that I thought just like just kidding, but really, where I'm like making fun of this person, but not too hard, because I don't know this person, so I can't go as hard as I really want to go. So I was like, yo, why don't you change your scene name to like Darra Douchebag or Darren Dragon Dick or something? I can't even remember what I said, yo. But she immediately went right to the nuclear solution and was like, why don't you stop being a stinky, greasy nigger or something along those lines? And I'm just like, yo, like, and at this point, I was not, like I've said a million times on the stream, I have been hearing the N-word since I was a little boy. So that was like water off a duck's back. And in fact, when that happens, I'm like, okay, I win. I just won, because that means you have no other cards to pull. That you gotta go in your bag and pull that out. So that's a W to me. So that was literally my first ever encounter with Darra, and that's what she talks about when she talks about how she called me that when she was like 13. Yeah, the off bat hard R, off bat, like right off bucks. So when she talks about how when she was younger, she used to say that, just know that with a black person that she had never met before, had no knowledge of, and had never encountered before, she was willing to immediately go to that, because that's how she operated, and that's how things with her worked. So not long after that, maybe like 4 or 5 years after that, I was in a very shitty, I don't even know if I could call it a relationship, but I was with someone that it was very short-lived. They cheated on me, fed me a bunch of bullshit about how their family was going to disown them for being a nigger lover or whatever, and threatened, sent me death threat. Well, not sent me death threats, but relayed to her that they were making death threats to both her and I as a response to her relationship with me. Some of you might know who this person is. I'm not going to name drop them because it's not important. But anyway, the whole reason that her family even found out who I was and that I was black was because of Darra. Right? She would go to, because her and this person were friends, close friends, really close friends at the time. So they would have dinner at her parents' house or whatever. And she would be like, hey, you know, your daughter's dating a black guy. He, like this kind of shit. And, you know, we had a very brief conversation. She destroyed hella friend circles that she did. I'll say this. I've always gotten the vibe from her that she was a sadist. Like I said in another video, I'm hesitant to use the word sociopath because that word has specific connotations. But what you think of when you hear the word sociopath, yeah, that's a person I would actually absolutely describe Darra as, for sure. My friend Shane has spoken sometimes on my Facebook that I'm right now zucked on, and my zuck will end this coming Saturday, I believe. But anyway, she used my friend Shane for a place to stay, and that when she was staying with Shane, and that's got to be like 2012, maybe 2011, 2012, 2013ish, somewhere in that area, is when we had our first conversation about what she said to me when she was like 13. And it wasn't as, despite what she would lead you to believe, or at least try to lead you to believe, it wasn't a full-on apology. It was more me, once again, being like, I don't care about that shit. I didn't care at the time, and I don't care now. So it was water off a duck's back then, and now it's water under the bridge. And her being like, yeah, it was silly or whatever, and just kind of giving a half-handed, half-hearted apology because she knew that I was already going to forgive her anyway, right? Specifically because she was staying at one of my best friend's houses. Like I said, I've known Shane. I lived down the street from Shane for 13 years. Shane and I were neighbors. His parents are on a first-name basis with me. Tina was a bullpog. Def can confirm narcissistic, which can easily go hand in hand with antisocial disorders like sociopathy. Yeah. Absolutely narcissistic. 1000%. So anyway, that happened. Now we get up to the point where she called me her husband at the time, because it wasn't just her boyfriend. They were married and they have a child together. Her husband at the time, allegedly, this is what she alleges, and I don't know what happened with how much of this is true. I do know that his so let me just tell the story. So Darra is stupid. I don't know how to put that politely, but she's like not smart. Clearly. One of the things that she posted about was about how weed is not a drug, right? Which is stupid. And I chimed in to correct her gently at first. But the thing about narcissists is that they take offense to any form of criticism whatsoever and handle challenge very, very poorly. So she had posted something about how weed is not a drug. I responded that weed actually is a drug. It's just not harmful. There are lots of things that are drugs. Caffeine is a drug, right? Acetaminophen, Tylenol, that is a drug. You take too many Tylenol, it'll fuck you up, but it's not harmful and it's not mind altering, right? And that's what I identified as the problem, is that she did not know the difference between a drug and a mind-altering substance, right? The same way that all squares are rectangles, but not every rectangle is a square, right? So, I forget. I said something like pro tip. Why don't you look in the dictionary at mind-altering substance and tell me what you find? And she went, that's what I'm getting to right now, Brittany. So she because this dude Aaron Bryant, like I said, they had just recently had a child and they were married. He was not a ex-boyfriend. He's not just like a partner off in the wind or in the weeds or something. That is the father of her child, and they were legally married. And from her profile, because she alleges that he was the one that said this from her account, even though she took forever to delete it and then was immediately thereafter liking comments from Warpack, rest in piss, fucking Zach Warnick, piece of shit, calling me a monkey, right? So, this dude, Aaron Bryant, me and him go back and forth after the fact because he's claiming that he was the one that said it from her profile. And I'm leaning more towards believing that he was the one that actually said it at this point, because he has actually changed his name on Facebook, so specifically so that people cannot find him. I forget what he changed his name to, because I don't care about him. I already ran down on him, and he was a fucking coward. He acted like he was gonna beat my ass, and then when I saw him in real life, he fucking ran and hid and acted like he had a tummy ache. He had a little tum ache because he's got Crohn's disease or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But he's a fucking coward. Needless to say, he's on the internet calling people the N-word and starting fights and running from them. But this was in the year 2015. I believe. Okay, so yes. So, yeah, he had the little rumble guts. That kid is not her current husband's kid. No, that kid is Aaron Bryant's kid, the person who allegedly called me the N-word on her Facebook. And that goes into her backstory being false because, like I said, you guys hear my accent, right? You hear my accent. I sound white, right? And you could say yes. You could say I sound white. I'm not going to call y'all racist or anything like that. I sound white. I've acknowledged this. It's been a part of my life forever. People have said this about me. That's because I grew up in an extraordinarily white area, right? So Darra and I are from the same area, right? She is from an area a bit closer to the city, yes, but she is not from the inner city. She is from the outskirts of the city, directly adjacent to some of the nicest neighborhoods imaginable. And furthermore, she actually, fucking straight up Mean Girl style, had the master bedroom of her house growing up. And she actually has, in her little sob story where she's singing that Kesha song, she has a picture of her room in that story and doesn't have any information that states that that's her room, which is funny to me. Imagine talking shit and getting bodied by shit. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And so and what the fuck? So what's up, Charlie Barnes? I was actually just getting ready to tell Ashley to shut the fuck up again because she was wrong about my stream title. So anyway, what's up, Buckarix? So anyway, that distracted me. So yeah, 2015, her husband and father of her child at the time calls me the N-word from her Facebook account. And she claims this because she doesn't immediately delete it. And furthermore, after the fact, that dude, Zach Warpack, fuck off, rest in piss. Fucking glad he's dead. And I'm sure a lot of you are glad he's dead too. Fucking calls me a monkey. Darra likes the comment. People have showed me this. And, business as usual. In 2016, at the Arbutus Arts and Crafts Festival is where I see Darra with her baby and with Aaron, and that's where I'm like, yo, what you want to do? This is my stomping grounds. I know plenty of places. I know we're in the middle of a festival right now, but there's a whole heap of places where we could go right now and trade in hands if you want to do that. But he said, nah, he had a little tummy ache. He had to go take a shit. Arbutus has culture? No, it does not. No, it does not. The Arts and Crafts Festival is just like a bunch of marshmallow guns and fucking Ravens and Orioles gear and probably still some Redskins gear. I would absolutely guarantee there's still Redskins gear out there. But anyway, we go to the tunnels. We go to Arbutus Middle. Arbutus Middle was the fucking Thunderdome. I can't even tell you how many asses I beat and how many asses I watched get beat at Arbutus Middle. But anyway, let me continue. So, 2016, I see them both. No apologies, no words exchanged, nothing like that. That was the last time I saw them because, mind you, after they called me the N-word and all of that stuff happened, what typically happens, and some people know this, some people don't. A lot of people find out because what happens is annually I will talk shit about Warpack or that dude RJ Spliff. We're going to call his name's RJ Smith, but I'm going to start calling him RJ Spliff because that's what he put himself into. I'll talk shit about either one of my those dead fucking dumbasses who called me the N-word incessantly, threatened to beat my ass, did all this shit, destroyed my property or whatever. Never actually fought me, but talked a lot of shit on the internet and then ended up killing themselves. I'll talk shit about one of them. One of their peoples acts like they're gonna fucking find me and beat me up or fuck my car up or some other coward shit like that. And then I just fry them up. I just cook their life. And then they realize, oh shit, I look like an idiot. My notifications are getting blown up. My phone number and my address are getting posted on the internet. I gotta block this guy. And then they block me. And that's what happened with Aaron Bryant. He called me the N-word. There was a fucking like 750 comment thread of me just frying this kid's whole life and all my friends joining in to make fun of him. And so he immediately blocks me. And I've been blocked by both of them since the year 2016, 2015, which is why I say I never received an apology for any of that shit. And I still have not. She has said, let me rephrase that. I have not gotten a satisfactory apology. She has apologized vaguely, generally, in front of her audience, and she has apologized to me in private, centering herself in all these apologies, right? Because that's what narcissists do. Kid ain't do nothing to deserve that. Yeah, I don't mess with people's kids. But anyway, so 2016, that was the last I'd seen them in real life. Not knowing that she had started her brand the same year that her calling me a nigger and liking comments, calling me a monkey, all that stuff had happened, right? Which is just so fucking ironic to me. So, and here's some other. This is a detail I completely forgot. This is some heat. You ready for some heat? This is some heat I'm gonna tell y'all. So I want to say maybe like a year or two ago, Ashley actually invited me to a party hosted by none other than Cassie Miller. I was not invited to this party, but my thing is, what I like to do is I like for people to talk shit to me, and then I like to pull up on them and surprise them like a blind date. So they talked all that shit, and then when I came through Cassie's uninvited and people had a chance to back all the shit that they were talking, or best case scenario, apologize, we could sit and have a conversation and talk it out. And Darra was there with her new husband or man or whatever. Yes, you, Trashleys. Brandon Kerrigan. Yes, you do know this person, I believe. 2017, so that's when it was. So yes, it wasn't even just November of last year that I reached out to Darra, right? In 2017, that's the proof is in the pudding right there. In the year 2017, I actually went to Cassie Miller's housewarming party. Darra was there with her new husband, her new man or whatever. Had the opportunity, and this would be when she was in full swing with the Black Lives Matter, all that shit. But she intentionally avoided me, whole T. Went out of her way to not approach me. If I got near her, she would leave. Like, she went out of her way to avoid me, right? You don't understand how food insecurity equals the N-word pass? So first of all, she was not food insecure. Right. If you want to talk about food insecurity, I was fucking living with my mom, fucking eating grape juice and crackers and sleep for dinner because of the shit that I was going through with my family. I don't want to really get into right now, but she was not food insecure the same way that I was not food insecure. Right. I was doing identity theft, snatching credit cards and shit to do what I had to do to eat, and she was doing what she had to do to eat. So she was not food insecure. Dropping whole governments, yes, absolutely. So 2017. So she's had 4 years to reach out and apologize, knowing that it was a small house, so she knew I was there. We made eye contact several times. She tried to make she's trying to make it seem like, so her backstory, she's trying to make it seem like she grew up in the gutter of fucking inner city, Baltimore City, fucking picking dumpster diving and shit to survive, and fucking grew up around hella black people that gave her the N-word pass to say the N-word, and that couldn't be the farthest from the truth. She grew up in the same fucking hood that I grew up in, right? Which is a privileged ass fucking upper middle class white neighborhood. She hung out with all the same white people I hung out with. Went to all the same parties and shit that I did. She is not from the inner city. She is from the outskirts of the city. Thank you, Cumby man. Alleged identity theft. It's past the statute of limitations. I don't care admitting that shit. I almost got in trouble for that shit anyway. Yeah, she was dumpster diving, but not for survival. She was dumpster diving because it's fashionable to dumpster dive, like thrifting and shit like that. And even assuming that everything she said was true, she grew up in the fucking gutter, fucking, next to crack houses and stepping barefoot on broken needles and shit when she was a kid. That does not grant you the N-word pass. Everyone knows what that word means from the time that they're little children. From the time that you take it upon yourself to start cussing, because I don't know about y'all, I've been cussing since I was in the 3rd grade. And I knew there were certain words that I could not use in certain company, right? I could not say the word fuck in front of my parents, right? I could not say the word fuck in front of teachers, in front of my coaches in sports, whatever. You cannot say the N-word in front of black people. You cannot say the N-word in front of your coaches or whatever. I'm sure her mother probably let her say that shit. I'm sure her mother said that shit. But that's not a word you can use just generally in public. Even though she did quite often. Because I'm sure her thought was, who the fuck is going to check me? I have the bully pulpit. I'm the top of the shit pile. Because that's how narcissists think, right? That's how I used to think. Sunday. Who the fuck is Sunday? He must have already been banned because I can't see anything he's commenting. Yeah. Hold on. Sunday Tamadeo. Is he commenting you guys'? Oh, okay. I see him. I just banned him from the page. And I banned him from the stream, so he's gone. Ta-da. Ta-da. He's gone. Hocus pocus, I can make a spammer disappear. So anyway. What was I just talking about? Oh, the N-word. He's trying to get us in a Cash App scam? Yeah. Those Cash App scammers, let me tell you. Sheesh. So they're persistent. So anyway, yeah, so she knew, just like everyone knows, you are not allowed to say the N-word, right? Yeah, we only invest in GameStop and stonks around here. GameStop and AMC and Ethereum and Bitcoin. So this is not financial advice, by the way. So anyway, back to the story at hand. So year 2017, the opportunity presented itself because like I said, I don't give a fuck about this Aaron Bryant kid. I punked him. He's in the wind. He knows he's a coward. I made him walk away with his tail between his legs. I had no idea at the time that Darra had this whole art brands doing Black Lives Matter shit or whatever. Do not buy Dogecoin. It is literally a pump and dump scheme. It is advertised as a pump and dump scheme. The inventor of Dogecoin, literally sold all of his Dogecoin like 4 years ago. Do not buy Dogecoin. If you buy Dogecoin, you are a fucking idiot. So anyway, I got sidetracked by that. So yes, 2017, she could have apologized to me in person. We've made eye contact. Bitcoin and Ethereum are mad volatile. This is true. So, she could have apologized to me. And like I said, I was not made aware of her brand until at some point last year, right? So I'm glad you guys made money off that pump and dump scheme. But so anyway, last year I was made aware, hey, this person that has been racist to you, in front of you, behind your back, has treated all of your friends like shit. Because like I'm sure you've noticed, there is a litany of stories from people. ADHD has entered the stream, yes. There's a litany of stories from people talking about how Darra bullied them, Darra stole from them, Darra fucking traumatized them in some way or another, right? These are people that she has yet to make amends to as well. So the year 2017, she could have apologized to me, did not. When I reached out last year, having found her brand and being aware, because the first thing I did was be like, wow, it's crazy to me that this girl that everyone knows is racist is now Instagram famous with like a buck 20,000 followers selling Black Lives Matter merch and shit, right? Because I had no receipts at the time. It was literally just my word out there. Nobody gave a fuck. It came and went. Just like with the auto bar shit. Nobody gives a fuck about that. It's just some random angry black dude just fucking screaming into the wind, right? Screaming at the void. What up, mischievous raccoon? So I let it burn. I ate it, and I got very, very I know about Billie Holiday, mischievous raccoon. Thank you. So I literally live in Baltimore. I know about Billie Holiday. So anyway, I let it burn. I was like, you know what? I'm being petty, and I let people gaslight me the same way I always do whenever it's fucking white people trying to defend their racist white friends, right? She's changed. It was a long time ago. She's grown. She's put in all this work. Whoop de whoop de whoop. So I, at certain point, stopped with the, this person is racist. I can't believe all these people support her, thinking that my word would mean anything. So I was just like, I'm just gonna let this burn. I'm gonna eat this one. I'm gonna take it on the chin. And I reached out to her. I messaged her just to get a vibe. Like I said, to get a vibe, to see what she has actually done, what work she's put in, what her thought process is these days. And I was ignored. And after that is when I commented on I believe it was the post of her singing that Kesha song or whatever, where I commented like, yo, I knew you. I didn't say who I was. And I didn't get into specifics, but I was like, I knew you back when you were in high school, and it seems like you're different now. And I'm proud of this platform that you've built. Thank you, Comfy Crown. Thinking that, at the very least, I would get a shout out of it. That she would realize who I was, check me out, see that I am a black content creator, that one of the main things I talk about is pro-blackery and shit. You know what I mean? Black Lives Matter, all of that. And give me a shout out or something. Promote me as, one of the black content creators that people could follow and whatever. That did not happen. It still has not happened, ironically. So she responded to those comments, but only to say like, thank you, I appreciate you, I have put in a lot of work, I have grown a lot, make it all about herself again, right? And yes, Brandon, growth equals ignoring past mistakes. Everyone knows this. Yeah, this is true. I've acknowledged a lot of the shit that I've done in the past. Like, I've done a lot of really heinous shit, sober and intoxicated. But anyway, so I let it burn. I'm just going to forget about this. I'm not even going to think about it. The only people that it looks like really support her and buy her shit are other fucking white brunch liberal feminists anyway. So I'm not pressed, right? It sucks that Darra wanted to have her cake and eat it too. Yeah, that's funny. I was getting ready to say though, it sucks that I, as a black content creator, I'm sure at some point it might happen. You muted stream. Okay, mischievous raccoon. At some point, it sucks that I, as a black content creator who actually has the lived experience that she talks about uplifting and centering, that she has like 120,000 followers, all this support, makes all this money off her work. Meanwhile, I have less than 1,000 followers, like average 5 viewers, and 2 out of those 5 are people who just come here because they saw I have a Black Lives Matter hashtag and saw it was a black guy. So they're going to spam my chat with the N-word, right? That's what I have to go through every time I stream. Some of you are here for that, and some of you see that. Attorney General confirmation, I might cover that after this. So, anyway, so she no longer has that same following. That's the other sad thing, is that she's actually gained followers in some cases. But anyway, Yeah, Fade Runner will tell you. We've banned a lot of goofy people in this chat. Just want to come in here and spam the N-word, right? And that's an experience that's completely fucking foreign to Darra. Because number one, she's not fucking black. Number two, she has a crazy amount of followers that will defend her and do all that stuff. Case in point, with me, even though I have the receipts, because that's the other thing, is that people act like I was just sitting on this screenshot, waiting to put it out there, all this shit. She's lost about 5,000 followers. I've seen that. So I want to address that as well. Because people are acting like I'm just petty. I just wanted to put this out there to ruin her. I'm just being a bully because I always bullied her. Whatever. So let's talk about a woman by the name of Rachel Dolezal. So the reason why Rachel Dolezal is despised is because, to put it bluntly, she was taking up fucking space. She might have done some good things from the outside looking in terms of maybe providing education for people, maybe providing resources for people, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, she was a white person taking up space that could be occupied by a black person, right? And that's why she is despised. Not specifically because of anything she might have said and did in her past, aside from being white and deciding to cosplay and wear blackface daily. But it's not because of that. Likewise, the reason why I'm upset with this whole Darra situation is not because she called me a nigger 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. That's silly. I didn't care at the time, clearly. You don't be me and not have a skin as thick as I have. What upsets me about this whole situation was the fact that, like I just said, I have to come on this platform with under 1,000 viewers, under 1,000 followers, like 5 average viewers, and deal with people spamming the N-word in my chat daily, right? Daily. Meanwhile, this woman who has actually done that same exact thing, called me the N-word, is profiting, living comfortably off of her 120,000 followers that buy her Black Lives Matter merchandise and all of her shit. That is the crime in reference, in regard to me personally here. Now, in terms of her stealing the platform from a woman of color, she has rectified that situation. So, like I said before, please follow Girls Making Magic on Instagram. It's no longer Darra. She did the right thing in that regard. She has still not apologized to me publicly and relinquished some of her following to me, which is what I think would be getting close to justice in this situation. And Rachel, yes, it's not surprising that the vast majority of her followers will hang tight because they're just typical white girls faking allyship. That's why some ugly basic things she posts are so popular. They think that's being an ally, just reposting and buying t-shirts. Absolutely. And like I said, it's people who will buy that type of shit but then completely ignore an actual black content creator like me. So that's why I was upset in the situation. And now I get to, since we know all that, the entire backstory is out there. Because, like I said, I did not just put the screenshot out there because I wanted to ruin her, because I am being spiteful, because I'm jealous, or any fucking goofy shit like that. I put it out there so that people can know, hey, this is what you're supporting. This is what you are putting up on a pedestal when you say that you want to give people a chance to learn and grow and do good things for the black community. And I don't know. And that's the other thing, is that to my knowledge, she is not transparent about where the proceeds to all the money she makes goes. I could be wrong about that. Do not quote me on that. It might be on her profile. I couldn't stand on her profile long enough, getting fucking bukkakied with rainbows long enough to look through it and see where the proceeds go. But the only thing that I've heard about her thus far from other content creators and other artists that she's worked with is that she's a bully. She will use her platform to bully other people and to eliminate her competition. That is it. That was what was so ironic about the whole people who profit off the black community accountable thing, is that that whole post was a call out post of something called Letter Shop, I believe it was. So yeah. What honestly depresses you about this is how shamelessly duplicitous she is being. That's her whole life. That is her whole entire fucking life. And people that know her or have known her for any extended period of time will tell you this, is that she is two-faced as fuck. She is straight up two-faced. She'll pretend to be your friend 1 minute, and then once your back is turned or you're out of earshot, she's talking about all the shit that she's using you for, and that's the only reason why she's your friend. That is how she treats everyone in her life. Yeah, Letter Shop. She outed someone, yes. And yeah, that was what irritated me. You're making a living off of a cause that not only are you completely foreign to because you are a pretty privileged white woman, but also you directly contributed to that struggle that black people have to go through. Because I know I'm not the only one by far that she said the N-word to or said racist shit to. So, what the fuck even is her Insta page? My eyes hurt so many colors. Yes, mischievous raccoon. Yes, that's why I couldn't stay in there. I couldn't do it. She spent days outing Dina and what she did, and she gained like 40,000 to 50,000 followers after that shit. And that's crazy to me. That's fucking crazy to me. You're outing other people for doing the exact same shit that you're doing and gaining followers off of that just to eliminate your competition. That's disgusting. That's utterly disgusting. So she sent me money. Screenshots from the internet are fair game for anyone to share and post. If someone really wants to, you can go back at anyone's Facebook and find some dirt on them. So don't do shit you might regret later, especially if you never decide to address it. Yeah, absolutely. You can go on my Facebook and see gross fucking misogynistic or maybe even like homophobic or whatever shit that I said years ago, but I own and wear all that shit, and I know it's bad. I know it's wrong. I'll perfectly admit that it's wrong. But yeah. So the thing is, she sent me money, and that's what I wanted to talk about because I was kind of conflicted about this. And yes, I'm also glad that Kim is taking over Girls Making Magic because that's what should have happened in the first place. And that's the other thing, is that I have a hard time. And that's my thing, is I don't respect people who do the right thing for the wrong reasons, right? I can't respect you if the only reason you apologize is because you lost 5,000 followers. I can't respect you if the only reason you relinquished your fucking platform that you should have given away in the first place is because people bullied you into doing it. I can't respect you if the only reason you're giving people money and reparations and shit is because people have bullied you into doing it. And in my opinion, no, reparations have not been made. She sent me $450 of hush money. That's what I took it as. And I'm not going to hush, obviously. But she made a private donation to my website, endlesscemetery.com. You can go there if you'd like to tip me or send me any money or you know, support my stream or anything like that. It functions as both a link tree and a tip jar. It's endlesscemetery.com. And you can see all of my VODs for my past streams and stuff there. Now that I have the following that I have and stuff, I'm going to lean way harder into the political content now and the Anarchata stuff and the civil rights stuff. Talk more about my family history with slavery and the Deep South and stuff like that. But a lot of my past VODs are just straight up video games because I didn't really have a big audience. So anyway, so yes, she went to that website and sent me $450 to my PayPal of hush money. I'll read you the apology note that she sent with it. Give me 1 second to scroll down to it because I have it open in my slob still. And when you donate, it'll come up whatever amount that you put, unless you don't want it to come up. It'll come up on stream naturally. But 16 hours ago, so less than a day ago, this was like 11 o'clock at night. She donates $450 to me. And the note that she puts in it says, "I am truly sorry for that word being used towards you, for using it in my past, and for how my actions have hurt you. I sincerely have been putting in the work to be the best version of myself, but obviously I have more work to do. So again, it's it's like 50% of an apology, right? Because you're not owning up to, just like, it's very difficult for her to just say, I'm sorry I called you a nigger, right? She can't just say that because it's still about salvaging the brand first and foremost, no matter what. It's not about actually making amends and repairing a lot of the harms that she's done throughout her life. And that's why a lot of you people that she's fucked over, she has not reached out to contact. And I reached out to Kim to be like, yo, she's handing out dollars. Make sure you get you some. She said she was not interested in that, and I respect that. I thought twice about sending the money back. I was like, fuck this, because you have not apologized to me in public. You have not publicly apologized to me. And in this private apology, you didn't even say what you're apologizing for. It's just another vague apology. Like, hey, sorry I did some stuff. I'm working on it. I need to work some more. Have some money. Thanks. Here, have $450 for canceling me. Right. And I took it as hush money because, like I said, she has her platform that she could apologize directly to me on, which is something that people have been telling her to do. And she could shout me out, something like that, send her followers my way. But she hasn't done that. She just wanted to send me. And yeah, the fact that she thought she could buy me for $450, like, gross. Gross. My fucking great-great-great-grandfather cost more than that. Way more than that. And he was a literal slave. So, like 100 stuff, yeah. Ultra Instinct dodge game, yeah, her dodge game. Yo, thank you for the $20. I appreciate you. I really, truly appreciate you. And to be transparent about, let me also hang on because I have to put this up. So my background's going to go weird for a second because I have to copy and paste this. Blah. All right. Let me copy this. There we go. So you'll always see who is donated to me and how much they've donated. Right. All of those funds go to supporting my household. A lot of you know I live with my mom. I left my job. Ironically, I left my job last year because I didn't think the conditions were safe. And while I didn't give a shit about getting COVID, I did not want to give COVID to my elderly mother. My mom ended up getting COVID anyway because she is an essential worker. She is a mortician. So as a result of her job not doing what the fuck they were supposed to do, she ended up getting it. Luckily, she survived, but she was down bad for a significant period of time, not working, and had to use her sick days naturally. So, yeah, we were hurting a little bit for funds. And so a lot of the money goes just straight up to the roof to keep the internet on so that I can even do this. But the rest of it goes straight up directly to improving the quality of the stream. So headphones, I got to buy new headphones, right? You see these? I'm going to buy new headphones. I'm going to get a shock mount for my mic. So every time I adjust this shit, you hear that? The squeaky, you won't hear that whenever I adjust the mic. I'm going to upgrade my graphics card, that kind of stuff, right? So, and also once I get to a level where I have excess funds, because I don't make enough to live off of the stream. That's the goal. Cat phones. Yeah, I'll take the cat ears. I'll take them. I'll do cat ear streams. That's I don't have an issue with that at all. But the goal was from the very beginning to become like a Vosh or a Destiny type, right? Where I talk about black, like the pro-black stuff, civil rights issues, do modern news coverage in contrast and compare it to historical events and stuff like that and make a living off of streaming. I can't do that as of yet because I just did, up until now, I just didn't have the viewership or the followership. But, so yeah, it's been a rough couple of months. I'm hoping we get that stimmy soon that Joe Biden fucking promised us and is walking back from. But anyway, I don't make it. I'm getting off. I'm getting off course. I can actually accordingly engage my audience, unlike Vosh. Fair enough. So anyway, so yes, the hush money. So she sent me $450, and I gotta say, for as long as her brand has existed, and the number of people that are into it, and the number of people that have come out against me, because make no mistake, yeah, Brittany, a wish list is something I'm gonna do as well. I have one. It's just not public right now because a lot of it is really silly shit like Gundams and stuff like that. It's 5 a.m. there in the Philippines. Damn, thanks for joining us, John. Yeah, you can send me stars as well. If you want, you can absolutely send me stars. I actually usually have a stars goal. Let me do that really quick. Hang on, this is gonna be weird. Let me grab my stars goal. Put that up right there. I'll stash that up here. So, so that's where I'm at now. That's where everything is at this current point in time. Thank you for the follow, Funbag Man. It's cool, Mischievous Raccoon. I'm good. I know how to solder. I just don't want to spend that much time on doing that when I could just like drop $50 and get a new pair of decent headphones. And that's the other thing too, is that I have an entire team of people. Bingman is one of them. Fade Runner is one of them. Brandon, he's commented in here. He's getting himself set up. I got an entire team of people that I want to bring with me on the stream game that are trying to do this as well, that I also trust and care about. So anyway, with this $450 thing, I was conflicted immediately, initially. Yo, thank you for the donation. I appreciate the $20. I appreciate you. So, to the moon. I'm not Doge. So, the 450 is, like I said, it seems like if you just have that laying around, just start catfishing dudes. I don't want to go back to living like that. I already did that. I don't know if I can go back to living like that. It's like, nah. I would do that, but Kev coin, I'll make the Kev coin. So anyway, guys, stop distracting me. So I'm trying to talk about this fucking this donation. So she sent me at like 1 a.m. last night, in the dead of fucking night. I mean, the dead of night, when no one was awake, no one was live. I was just up because it was demon hours, and my circadian rhythm is fucked because I worked overnight in my last job. She sends this donation. I hear, because my slabs is open, I'm at my computer doing research. And I see to my left that my slabs is open, and I get this donation for $450. You were awake, Sami. You were. And hold on. I'll show you guys what kind of research I was doing. Let me play this for you guys really quick. This was the research I was doing, right? Last night. If you know what research I was doing, you need Jesus. So I hear my donation sound go off, and I look over to my left screen, and I hear $450. Holy fuck. I'm like, what the fuck? And it has her name next to it. Has her name next to it, and I'll read it again because there's a bunch of people here now that weren't here before. She sends me the $450 with a note that says, I am truly sorry for that word being used towards you, for using it in my past, and for how my actions have hurt you. I sincerely have been putting in the work to be the best version of myself, but obviously I have more work to do. And like I said before, that's not an apology. That is not a fucking apology. You didn't say specifically what, Like, it's, you can't just come out and say, sorry for calling you a nigger, right? What's my YouTube again? My YouTube is youtube.com/CovenRecord. I'll link you. Hang on. I'll post a link. Give me a sec. I'm going to drop a few links in Facebook chat here. I'm going to drop a link to Kim. I'm going to drop a link to Girls Making Magic, and I'm going to drop my YouTube link. So, at Facebook chat, here is my YouTube. Sheesh, I gotta scroll all the way down. That's my YouTube. And as you can hear, there's no, I type way too fast to be as broke as I am. So, what is this? What is this? Okay, here we go. All right. So follow this account on Instagram. And now let me double check and make sure, because she said she was going to rebrand. So let me make sure she didn't. Okay. And follow this account as well. Follow all of that. And also, thanks for donating, because I didn't want Darra's like giant ass hush money tip to be the tip that's displayed on my tip bar. So I appreciate you guys sending me money just for that reason, right? Change my IG to Kevin Making Havoc. I would, but Endless Cemetery is my brand at this point. I can't deviate from that. So anyway. Kim Sarah is not my account. Thank you for the sub. Kim Sarah is the account of the woman. So to just explain that really quick, because I got to give credit where credit is due, and I got to talk about where the right thing was done. So Girls Making Magic was an account that was run by both Kim Sarah and Darra. Now, when I first put out this information, I first posted these screenshots. What was it, on Wednesday of last Wednesday? Two things happened. Number one, Kim was going to step away, or rather, here, I don't know, because I was asked to not talk about certain aspects of this. So I'm trying to remember what other people already know. So essentially what happened was there was conflict in this brand, because obviously Kim Sarah does not want to work with a fucking racist, right? So what should have happened is Darra would have stepped down, allowed Kim to take over, and that was the end. Thursday. Okay, thank you. What actually ended up happening was Kim was making the decision to step down because she was trying to take responsibility to step away from any type of white supremacy whatsoever. Because Darra refused to step down from this Girls Making Magic page. Not only that, she actually made Kim send her the statement that she was going to make before she stepped down to make sure it was not too damning of Darra, right? Which is gross as fuck. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Fractally disgusting. No matter what you zoom out on, what you zoom into of that situation, it's all equally disgusting, right? But as a result of the constant bullying and mass reporting and stuff, and her accounts getting shadow banned, Darra, out of attrition, was forced to give up the Girls Making Magic page and give it to Kim, which is what she should have done in the first place. And the thing that's unfortunate about that now is that the damage has been pretty much already done to this Girls Making Magic page. I believe it's shadow banned. It's lost 5,000 followers, so it's down to 115K followers from 120K followers. And I'm sure it's essentially fucked in the algorithm, because people were going so hard on Darra, and to a certain degree, I'm sure Darra knows that, which is like, here, it's basically like where you let someone play with your toy. You got a brand new shiny toy, or not even toy, because you buy toys Kim put in work to build this platform. And that's what upset me about the situation so much in the first place, is that Kim worked hard doing all the work necessary to make this platform into what it is, in tandem with Darra, of course. And Darra only handed it back to her after it was already all fucked up and broken, right? So that's gross to me. She did the right thing, but not for the right reasons, right? So if you can, please make sure you follow the Girls Making Magic page. Spread that around. Show her some love, because she is now not... Before, she had to completely start from scratch, but now she's not completely starting from scratch. It's almost worse than starting from scratch, because at least when you make a new profile, you don't start off shadow banned, right? So we got to up her in the algorithm and all that good stuff. So credit where credit is due. At least Darra did that much. And like I said, she sent me $450 behind the scenes, which I took as hush money. That's what I think it is, because she has not apologized to me publicly. She has not said, this is the person that I had bad interactions with. Make sure you follow them. Kim is Filipina, yes. Yeah, and I mean, I'm getting all these dog moms and wine moms and brunch moms and shit on my profile now, but it's fine, because I feel like liberals are liberals, but at least I feel like, to a certain degree, if you are honest and acting in good faith with your politics, you can be brought to leftism. You can be, even if you're kind of gun shy on the whole socialism or communism thing, there are at least aspects of those politics that you can get liberals to agree with you on, and you can slowly whittle them down to being actual, functional, actionable people when it comes to the causes of like black liberation, prison abolition, police abolition, all that stuff, right? Ending wars overseas, all that stuff. This is all lefty positions that liberals say they support, but when it's time to put in work, when the rubber meets the road, people just want to vote for Democrats, right? And thank you for the dono, a 6-9. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's I guess everything. If anybody has any questions about anything, please feel free to ask. I won't like talk shit to you, or like, there's no such thing as a dumb question in here. I'm just gonna like leave this open for like Q&A now, because I feel like I've said everything that I can say about the situation. I'm still waiting for a public apology. I'm still waiting for her to shout me out and send me some of her followers, because what she's doing right now is just laying low, right? And waiting to come back, waiting for her rebrand. I'll read you the most recent statement that she put out. What is Kim's content in her Instagram? So her content is just a lot of like liberal and lefty content, which is just links to send support to people in Texas, which is like the most pressing issue right now, because there's people fucking freezing to death in Texas, living in absolutely destitute fucking conditions in America, which shouldn't surprise anyone, right? Because that's another thing that needs to be known, is that the coming climate chaos, whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you acknowledge climate change or not, when shit starts happening, when the hurricanes start happening, when the power outages start happening, when the wildfires and shit start happening, the government will abandon you. They will leave you to your own devices. And the lower you are on the tax bracket, the farther you are away from capital, the more fucked you will be. Trust and believe. Take Texas as a prime example. And even without Texas, we have Hurricane Katrina. We have whatever natural disasters you want to look at. There's plenty of examples of this. And people love the pointed examples of capitalism failing and saying that's Venezuela or that's socialism or whatever. And it's like, you're literally describing capitalism. But anyway, so the last two posts that Darra made are, this is her Cancun. Yes, and speaking about violence against Asian Americans, that's very important too, because that's also a pressing issue. The uptick in hate crimes against Asian Americans, especially Asian American elders, because white supremacists are fucking cowards and will not choose a fair fight. This should be not a shock to anyone, but spread awareness of violence against Asian Americans, because they're definitely a vulnerable population right now with all this fucking especially with the rhetoric that Trump was spouting about the China virus and Kung Flu and all this racist fucking shit that he was saying. But so here's the statement about Darra going offline. Here's what she said about going offline. Okay. She said, "I am deeply sorry and ashamed that I have ever used that word and that I allowed it in my online space. I am embarrassed and disgusted that I centered myself in my last post, and I know that I was not taking accountability, and that was not the right way to apologize. I understand why my actions are unacceptable. Using that word is extremely hurtful, and so is trying to excuse it. I am so sorry for the hurt that I have caused, and I know that I have not been a good accomplice to the Black community. I am thankful for those who have taken the time to educate me, although it is not their responsibility. I will be offline while I work with anti-racist educators and continue to learn how to be an ally." So basically, that was a statement saying, I'm going to lay low until this blows over. I'm going to lay low until this blows over. And for all you white women and shit that want to continue to support me, that's what's happening. So please don't unfollow me, because I'm going to come back soon. I'm just laying low until this blows over for right now. That's what I got out of that statement. And as far as her most recent statement is, the girl's making, why am I, when I could just show you this shit? I'm stupid. Hang on. So this is the statement where she's saying, I'm just going to lay low for a while. I'm going to lay low and I'm going to come back. All right. Fuck the KKK. You're absolutely right. So this is her statement saying she's just finna lay low for a minute and come back when the heat dies down, even though she is dead fucking wrong if she thinks I'm going to stop talking about this, even after she apologizes to me publicly, because obviously, why wouldn't I? But here's the statement she made in regards to the Girls Making Magic account. The Girls Making Magic account belongs to Kim totally and permanently. She will be changing things up, including the handle, but she will be taking over the account. And, you know, people got some heat for her in the comments, as it should be. Pay back the money you made profiting off of Black people. Yikes. That's a big old yikeser for me. But yeah, so there's that. Shout out to you in the comment section. Yes. And while I'm here, let me see if I can find, because it's just so fucking ironic. Here we go. Copy link, because my messages are in the background. I don't want you guys to see those. Okay, so oh man, here's a post that says, "Hold those that profit off of the Black community accountable, ... And I'm wondering if the ellipsis was like, later she makes another post that says ... except for me. Yeah, this is one that aged like Greek yogurt. So anyway, once you get why she made this post, it gets so much worse. So much fucking worse. So let me read this off for you, because this is some heat. This is some heat. I'm going to like it just to be petty. It says, "For standing up for Black lives. This is long, but please read if you support at Lettershop or at Women of Illustration." So this is literally a call. She's calling other people out. This is her calling out other people. Big LOLs. Big fucking LOLs. So she said, "Petty, oh, yo, I'm Petty Pendergrass. I'm Petty Crocker, stirring up that shit pot." So anyway, I wasn't going to post about this on my feed, but honestly, I can't stop thinking about it. When I shared about this to my story, I got so many messages asking who it was, especially from black women, because I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry, yo. This is, oh my God. Oh my God. Sheesh. So, especially from black women, because they don't want to support a platform like this. This is from less than a year ago. June 4th, 2020. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna try my best to get through this. Hang on, because this is big LOLs. Big LOLs. Okay. All right. I was scared. Thank you for the follow, Aaron the Destroyer. Yeah, this yogurt I think is a little sour. I was scared to send the message, then I was scared to post a story, and now I'm scared to share this post. But what kind of activist would I be if I didn't speak out because I was scared of someone with followers and power? Yo, what kind of activist would I be if I was putting myself above an issue that I think needs to be heard? So here we go. I've been following Letter Shop and Woman of Illustration for years. A few days ago, I was thinking about how she hasn't shared on either of those platforms about any of the injustices black people have been faced with lately. Oh, sorry, I had the honey Lucky Charms. I'm a little gassy. Nothing when the video of Ahmaud Arbery was released. Nothing about Breonna Taylor. Nothing about George Floyd. And let me take this moment to get dead ass serious with a second. I'm gonna get 1,000. It's no geeks. It's no LOLs. I'm gonna be dead ass serious with you for a second. And if you're not a metalhead, if you don't live in Baltimore, if you don't live in Maryland, you might not know what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna say this shit anyway. Fuck Maryland Death Fest. Fuck Maryland Death Fest. They don't give a fuck about black people. They bring neo-Nazis to our city. They don't fucking pay their artists sometimes. Fuck Maryland Death Fest. Fuck anyone who supports Maryland Death Fest. And if you work for Maryland Death Fest and you have for a long time, you need to figure out what you want to do and what you need to do to change that fucking situation. Because you find me after they've booked people like the band Pestilence, Destroyer 666, had the literal head of Maryland Skinheads working security for Death Fest. The first and only Death Fest related show that I worked involved having a fucking NSBM band play. And yet there's not even a simple Black Lives Matter JPEG on any of the Death Fest websites. You guys need to figure that shit out. Fuck Autobar, fuck Death Fest, and let's get back to the LOLs, because this is some big LOLs still. Big LOLs. So anyway, nothing about racism in general, not even amplifying the black artists that were sharing art about it on her Women of Illustration platform, a platform that's supposed to exist to amplify women's voices. I thought that was odd since she posts things about women's rights, queer rights, smoking weed, nudity, and sex. So she has no problem being controversial, right? And same thing with Death Fest. You have no problem booking literal fucking neo-Nazis, but you book some crust bands to open up, to play at like 5 p.m. in the afternoon, so you could say that it's apolitical, right? But you have nothing to say about Freddie Gray, some of the injustices that happen in the fucking city that you book your shows in, right? So yeah, fuck Perdition Booking, fuck Maryland Death Fest, all that. Yo, thank you, Johan. Sorry I didn't pay attention to your comments. I'm just doing this right now. Who was the security person in that case? It was Jason Tankersley. Hang on. I'm gonna show you this person really quick. So here we go. This is actually a perfect post to show you guys. Jason Tankersley on the left, this guy who's got a giant fucking Totenkopf tattoo on his neck, and that's how I recognized him initially. Exile Fitness is the MMA training he runs that people go to. Jason Tankersley left of Maryland State Skinheads. So he's the head of Maryland Skinheads. We can watch a documentary about him after I get done cooking Darra. Matthew Heimbach of the Traditionalist Workers Party. You might know him as the guy who created the White Student Union at Towson University back in the year, what was it, like 2009, 2010? And on the right is Steve Smith of the Keystone Skinheads, or Keystone United, they're known as now, because what do you know? Racists love to rebrand. So just peas in a pod here. So I just wanted to point that out really quick. And if you guys want to know what Jason Tankersley used to look like, let me pull up another picture here. Here we go. This is the same guy. That's Jason Tankersley there. Giant fucking swastika tat. I hope I don't get banned for this. But, you know, he's got his white Pride Worldwide flag at the gym that he trains people at. And I will say this, though. This is wrong. The information here is wrong. Pay no attention to this. These people were not at the Capitol. This is also Jason Tankersley here. But this is not Jason Tankersley. That is not Jason Tankersley. Jason Tankersley was not at the Capitol on January 6th. Do not spread that misinformation. Yeah, his character has too much backstory. Yeah, for sure. So, I'll cue that up, as a matter of fact. Hopefully there's no music in this documentary. I'll play this really quick, actually, and come, because it's going to take me a while to read this. So I'll play these for you really quick. This is Jason Tankersley, and look how acne he's got. These people love roids, love roids, and let me tell you, fighting people with roids fucking sucks. Don't fight people with roids unless you know you're gonna win, because it's fucking annoying.
With its emphasis on aggression, violence, and loud music, the racist skinhead subculture can be attractive to young men.
All right, next thing we're going to break into, you're going to need a partner for this. We're going to work on securing a basic Muay Thai clinch.
Listen to that fucking East Coast ass accent.
Devastating for either in the ring or in the street.
Hold on, let me go back. Let me pause. That guy, Rick Indy, he runs Label 56, which is one of the only white power record labels in the country and the most prominent record label. White power record label. It's based in Maryland. They are close friends. He and Jason Tankersley are co-owners of that record label. I don't know if it still exists or if they're underground now, but I actually got into a back and forth online with him because if you couldn't tell, I love to cyberbully people, and especially people like this. I like to talk about fucking their wives because that's just hilarious to me and one of my favorite things. And that's why Paul Wagner of the Wolves of Vinland has me blocked on Facebook, because I told him I was going to fuck his wife while he waited in the car, played Tetris on his phone. And I actually was talking to this guy's wife on Facebook and was trying to, spit some game, and she was not pleased about that, and neither was he. But anyway, let's go.
Or in the street, especially especially devastating in the street. I come in.
Based in Baltimore, the Maryland Skinheads, or MDS, preach loyalty to one's brothers in the group and devotion to the white race.
Shoot my arm through.
Membership requires conforming to the group's commandments,
Stand up. Head stomp.
including those about accepting the skinhead's warrior role. Jason Tankersley leads the statewide organization.
Physical fitness, the ability to defend yourself, it's all terribly important to us. It's constant self-improvement.
These are men, especially young men, who feel like the old John Wayne.
This is why he grew out his hair and grew out a beard, is so people wouldn't recognize him.
Feminism, by liberalism, by people who are taking away their manufacturing jobs, which is usually seen as, some type of Jewish conspiracy. So they're reclaiming it the best way that they can conceptualize, which is through this intense, violent culture.
Tankersley will not disclose exact membership numbers, but says his crew has more than tripled since it began and continues to grow. Tankersley is cautious about who joins the club.
I look for, basic physical conditioning. They have to be a tough individual because that is the type of club we are. Again, we're not just a political organization. So that's very important. And also, sacrifice. They have to show that they're willing to sacrifice for the club.
The men attend regular training sessions and wait a year before becoming full-fledged members. Tankersley uses this time to weed out prospects who aren't truly dedicated to the cause.
Look at everybody quiet down. Come on in here.
Today, a recruit named Chris finally becomes a member.
Guy's hard as nails. He's done everything we asked him to do. So now's the day we're going to go ahead and patch him in, make him a full member in the MDS. Chris, you'd like to come on up here? All right, brother. We're going to go ahead and give you this patch. It entitles you to full membership in the MDS. You've done everything to earn it. You've been a great brother and done absolutely everything we could want. Congratulations.
As a brother, Chris is expected to support all group activities and, most importantly, help increase membership.
I should be able to take anyone from the club, put them into an area of the state where no one's living, where there's no skinheads, where there's no activity, etc., and within 6 months to a year, they should have a small club started there.
So that's what you need to know about them. He probably smells like Copenhagen and drywall. I won't disagree with you. Hold on. I don't know if this is the same clip.
Heil Hitler. They use a numeric.
Oh, it's a different clip. Okay, yeah, we can watch this one too.
Their goals are ambitious.
What year did he do security? I'm gonna see if I can find
rebuild
it.
as a segregated nation. And
Gutierrez, hold on. Let me stop for a second. Let me cook this guy. Gutierrez 55. My channel revolves around scare tactics. Grow up and be a man. You're literally talking shit on the internet, my dude. You're literally telling people to grow up and be a man on the fucking YouTube comment section. Why don't you fucking go back to fucking Stormfront or fucking Newsmax and shut the fuck up and do something with your life? Because it's clearly not anything of value. And you're getting put on quiet time because I don't want you to come in here and say no more dumb shit ever again. So there you go. You're on quiet time now. Anyway, back to the video.
They are the racist skinheads, and their numbers are increasing.
Well, yeah, we are haters. We do hate you. It's time to leave and get out of our face, or you're going to suffer the consequences.
Their recruitment techniques are both powerful and far-reaching. Leaving behind the conventional uniform, they've learned to blend into mainstream society to attract new recruits.
We had a run with this.
Oh, he deleted his message. He deleted his message. What a fucking coward.
Go to college, get a good education.
Oh, this is important. This is very important. I'm going to back up because what this dude Tom Metzger says, because I want to talk about the Wolves of Vinland too. Because the Wolves of Vinland is another hate group I'll talk about after this if you guys want. If you guys want to stick around, if you guys got some time. I can talk about all this shit because I've been, like I've said, I've been in the same room as Paul Wagner. I've been in the same vicinity as Jason Tankersley. I've been this close to all of these people. Right? Yeah, before I start this off, I just want to say, Gutierrez 55, you're a fucking coward. You couldn't even stand on what the fuck you said. If you say something, stand on it. Stand up for what you believe in. Otherwise, you're a fucking coward. You're worthless. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's continue.
Their goals are ambitious. Overthrow the government, rebuild as a segregated nation, and put the white race firmly in control. They are the racist skinheads, and their numbers are increasing.
Well, yeah, we are haters. You know, we do hate you. It's time to leave and get out of our face, or you're going to suffer the consequences.
Their recruitment techniques are both powerful and far-reaching. Leaving behind the conventional uniform, they've learned to blend into mainstream society to attract new recruits.
You know, we had a run with the skinhead thing, and it was fun. But then I said, well, it's time to, go to college, get a good education, get as high as you can in industry, military, police, whatever you can do, and wait.
And they know how to utilize some of the best pulpits available today, music and the internet. And many of America's youth are listening.
Kids are vulnerable, they're impressionable. You can give them a worldview at that stage in life that they will act on pretty convincingly for a long, long time. I mean, any cult recruits at that age.
Online, the racist skinheads often code their messages to create an in-group of knowing people. RAHOA stands for Racial Holy War. 1-4 signifies the 14 words that stand for the racist skinhead main mission. To symbolize Heil Hitler, they use a numeric code based on the 8th letter of the alphabet. HH is coded as 88.
White supremacists are very visually oriented. I mean, you can think back to the Third Reich and how visually oriented the Nazis were. They want people to notice those symbols, and they're designed to cause fear.
Since the internet can reach an unprecedented number of people in an instant, these websites are where racist skinheads can influence.
Yes, this is the guy that Halcom was training with.
Adolf Hitler, you search on
Jason
Nazism,
Tankersley.
You get a lot of modern day Nazi websites. They start telling you, you think this way, but here's the truth. Your parents are lying to you, the government's lying to you, and they start brainwashing you. You start talking to them on a regular basis, and, you start believing the rhetoric.
The other major vehicle for recruitment is music.
Culture, and music in particular, is a way to reach the ears, if not the hearts, of new generation, because it's the music of rebellion. It's the music of telling your parents off, telling society off. It's the music of expressing adolescent rage.
Label 56.
Companies like Label 56 are impacting America's vulnerable audience.
Probably our most popular genres right now are hardcore and metal. That's more or less like hitting someone over the head with a 2x4 to get the message across. The lyrics are very shocking.
Is that Phil Anselmo?
Brutal, but sometimes that's what it takes to awaken a young kid.
Label 56 claims to run the second largest white power label in the U.S.
Angry Aryans, the dude from Nocturnal Fears in that band.
Every year to an international audience.
It really doesn't concern us too much who gets our material. Obviously, our material is available to the public. Books don't kill people. Movies don't kill people. Music doesn't kill people. And guns don't kill people. People kill people.
With violence at the core, the racist skinheads' message of racial pride continues to spread to a growing audience.
We're in the 21st century, but there's these folks who want to take us back to the 19th century and reinforce all the bigotry that's been the root of the problem for so many centuries by not letting us move past racism.
Let me first, hang on, because this is important too.
Let's move past racism. Bigotry that's been the root of the problem.
You see this here? The National Front flag? Let me show you something. I'm not going to be able to find it. I can't find it right now, but essentially the America First flag that was being flown at the Trump rally had the same logo as this, except it was AF instead of NF.
Problem for so many centuries by not letting us move past racism.
From secret codes to aggressive lyrics in metal music, racist skinheads are finding more and more ways to promote their message and fuel their revolution.
So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that really quick, and we can go back to cooking Darra now because this shit is lolsy. That shit is not so lolsy, but I feel like I had to. Instead of QAnon, we now have KAnon. Yikes. So anyway, and like I said, I'm open to Q&A. You guys can ask me anything. No question is a stupid question. That's what I'm here for. That's what I want this platform to be. That's what I'm building my brand on, is education on like white supremacy and the Black freedom movement and all that good stuff. So I'll start from the beginning with this goofy Darra shit. Hold those that profit off of the Black community accountable for standing up for Black lives. This is long, but please read if you support Lettershop or Woman of Illustration. I wasn't going to post about this on my feed, but honestly, I can't stop thinking about it. When I shared about this to my story, I got so many messages asking who it was, especially from Black women, because they don't want to support a platform like this. I was scared to send the message, then I was scared to post a story, and now I'm scared to share this post. But what kind of activist would I be if I didn't speak out because I was scared of someone with followers and power? What kind of activist would I be if I was putting myself above an issue that I think needs to be heard? So here we go. And I should also state pretty plainly, as I have from the very beginning, her calling me the N-word does not hurt me. It has not hurt me, and I am not afraid of any of the people on her platform. I don't consider myself an activist. I consider myself a content creator, but that's it. I'm literally just a streamer who loves being a fucking asshole to people like this. So here we go. I've been following Lettershop and Woman of Illustration for years. A few days ago, I was thinking about how A few days ago, I was thinking about how she hasn't shared on either of those platforms about any of the injustices Black people have been faced with lately. Nothing when the video of Ahmaud Arbery was released, nothing about Breonna Taylor, nothing about George Floyd, nothing about racism in general. Not even amplifying the Black artists that were sharing art about it on her Woman of Illustration platform, a platform that's supposed to exist to amplify women's voices. I thought that was odd, since she posts things about women's rights, queer rights, smoking weed, nudity, and sex, so she has no problem being controversial. I started thinking about the fact that artists pay her to feature their work on her feminist platform. And sometimes, I'm not going to derail myself. I'm going to keep reading this. I'm sure plenty of those women are Black. I started thinking about how the art that she shares there by those artists has helped her gain this huge following that she profits off of through sponsorships. I thought about the fact that her personal work is marketed as inclusive and how she draws Black women's bodies, then sells those drawings for profit. I became so sad and disappointed to see someone that profits off of the Black community so much not speaking up for Black lives ever. So I let her know that. I sent her a message, swiped to the end to read, and told her that I was sad and disappointed. I wanted to convince someone that has a huge platform of over 700,000 people, wow, across all, that this was important to share. The next day, she shared art about Black Lives Matter on Women of Illustration, and she made some vague post about speaking out even if you're uncomfortable on her feed, but never actually spoke up. I was expecting a message back of some kind, but nothing. She actually restricted me from messaging any of her platforms again. That sounds familiar, which I thought was strange, but I thought to myself, okay, at least she's shared something. At least the message is being shared. That's why I did this. I went to the protest downtown the next day, and on my way home, I got a message from a friend. I told her about this the day before. She subscribes to her Secret Diary podcast, and Dina has spent a good 25 minutes talking about the situation. I listened to it on my drive home. She starts by talking about the message and how fucking pissed she was about it. She quoted me as saying that I was disgusted that she draws Black bodies, which is not what I said at all if you read my message. She goes on to say that I had recently messaged WOI begging for a feature, insinuating that is why I sent this message. And if you look at a lot of the messages that Darra's supporters have accused me of. They've all accused me of being jealous, of trying to get some of her followers, get money out of her, whatever. So, ironic. As some kind of retaliation for not getting that feature. I've never asked for one, so that was a straight up lie. And I've also never asked her, Darra, for anything other than a simple conversation. To try to diminish the issue and make me look self-serving. That sounds familiar. She was trying to make me look like the bad guy to make herself look better and said that I burned my fucking bridge and she's never doing anything for me again. All because I told her that I was disappointed in her. All because I told her that she needs to fight for the community that helps to pay her bills. She starts talking about how people yelled at her for not including black women in her work. Now she's getting called disgusting for drawing them. She goes on to say that I was right and she should speak up, so she hurried up and made something and found some BLM art to reshare on Women of Illustration. When she was describing her process of deciding the piece, she said that she didn't want to draw George Floyd because so many other people have done it and they're all trying to make him look as black as they can by giving him huge lips and super dark skin. She talks about her, and I'm sure that there is a reason behind why she said that too. She talks about her process for finding the quote and info she posted, then compliments the girl she got some of the slides from and makes fun of her for spelling his name wrong. Then she goes on to say that she's glad she shared the piece and spends 5 minutes bragging about how many likes, shares, and new followers she got. Saying that it was her most liked, shared, etc. piece ever, saying that she's going to make more political work now, which standing up against racism isn't being political, it's being a human being with a heart. But that's a post for another time, and I agree with that. Then she complains about how people told her that she better not be selling it or it'll be profiting off of the oppression of black people, which duh. So she listed it for sale but didn't announce it publicly and said she was going to donate half to BLM on the podcast because she needs to be compensated for her time. This is the same girl that brags about making $100,000 a year, literally once a week. This is the same girl that donated her own money to help with COVID relief, the same girl that was giving away money on TikTok, but when it comes to supporting Black lives, she can't even donate one design because she needs to be compensated for her time. This is kind of, I mean, this is all white feminists, so what do you expect? She ended up saying she's donating 100% of that one after my stories about this yesterday and others that probably called her out for it being fucked up. At the end, she talks about how she mentored me and paid me for modeling photos, which is true. So that means I should let you take advantage of the black community and not call you out for your racism when the oppression of black voices on Women of Illustration? White people are constantly silent when it comes to racism, especially when it's someone that has some kind of power, authority, opportunity, or check over them, which is true. Ask anyone that works at Auto Bar. If anything, it should show that I was coming from a place of disappointment because I invested in someone and considered someone a friend that obviously didn't care about the communities they were profiting off of. There's so much wrong with this situation. I'm happy she shared and got the message out to 700,000, but I don't want anyone in the black community to be taken advantage of with this fake allyship. I don't want them to not have all the information that caused these posts to exist. I think she is going to continue to share because the post did well, and that's evident by the way she's speaking about those analytics. I know no one is perfect, and we are all always learning and trying to be the best allies and activists we can be, but her words on the podcast just don't sit right with me. And that's what we get to. Pure narcissism, right? She doesn't give a fuck about black people getting profited off of. Clearly, if we look at her own actions, she was mad that someone talked shit about her on their platform to all of their followers. That is what this comes from. What up, Ariel Ghost? This is a little situation I'm dealing with right now. I'm going to do my Mortal Kombat stream later at 10 p.m., but 10 p.m. my time. But I just want to deal with this right now. So, again, just to reiterate, at least from my experiences with her, my knowledge of her personality, and what I can infer from this post, she doesn't give a fuck about this platform profiting off of black lives. She was mad that she got shitted on a podcast. Right. She changed my words to include the word disgusting in regards to black bodies, which seems telling to me. She tried to diminish the message and my care for the black community by making it seem like it was about a feature, which is diminishing the issue as a whole and all of the people that fight for it every day. She talked shit about and made fun of artist drawings of George that celebrated his black features. Gross. She said that she only made her work inclusive because people complained and told her to. That sounds familiar. She didn't even amplify the message of black artists on her platform that's supposed to be about amplifying all women, and there were plenty beautiful pieces in the tag for the page. It's been days since she made those first few hurried posts, and she has barely said anything else about it or done anything to amplify black women on her platform. A couple more posts on Women of Illustration and one more vague, I don't see color-esque post on her own platform. That sounds familiar. She's still posting her own work on Women of Illustration instead of using that space to share black artists. Apparently, she said in her story that she's going to be political once a week. Yikes. Now she literally has donating 25% to Black Lives Matter in her bio, after she bragged about how good sharing about it was for her analytics. If you're going to have the @ for Black Lives Matter in your bio, talking about it once a week is not enough. I agree. You couldn't go 1 week without selling your products, so you put Black Lives Matter in your bio to justify selling and advertising them. If you're going to be promoting and selling anything right now, it should be 100%. You are using the movement as an advertisement tactic to get sales. That sounds familiar. You're promoting that you're selling things to benefit BLM to only donate 25%. She's donating 100% of the profits that are about BLM, but when you're using the movement to advertise your work, they're all about BLM. None of this sits right with me. She created posters and prints and had to keep some of the profits even though she donated to others with no issues and constantly talks about how much money she has. I want to see receipts. I want to see receipts from you, Darra. Where are your receipts at? Let's see those receipts. Video proof that cannot be doctored. Is this 25% or 100% before or after you've compensated for your time? You've been compensated for your time. This is not a movement that you can put in your bio because it's trendy. This is not something to be posting about to help with analytics. This is not something that's come and go. I'm torn because I want to spread the message and encourage others with a platform to speak out, but I didn't think about the dangers it could have. Someone may think she is their ally and give her their money and support. She made 2 vague-ass posts about it and now has the @ for Black Lives Matter in her bio. Her story said that she's working on more political work for us. Girl, think about that. More work about Black lives coming soon. I had to share about my pin, my tees, and girls coming on my page first. This is worse than performance allyship. In my eyes, it's for profit allyship. It's for clout allyship. It's for shares allyship. It's for followers allyship. Wow. 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 I don't know what I was expecting in response to that message, but it was not this. I truly thought that it would help her see that she needs to care about the community that has a huge hand in feeding her, but her actions after the fact prove that, as always, she's only worried about growing her following and getting another 100,000 next year. This whole situation really reminded me that it is so important to call these people out. And let me take a moment really quick here to say that if you don't consider me to be a part of the black community because I grew up in an all-white neighborhood, relatively privileged, and I sound white when I speak, you're a fucking scumbag and you should choke to death. To let others know what happened behind the scenes so they can make their own decisions about them, call out businesses that profit off of the black community for not standing up for black lives, and watch carefully how they respond. Don't stand for racism of any kind, which was all over this podcast episode. Say them by name. Like I said, I'm scared to post this, but I can't be silent about something like this. I always preach about standing up against racism and calling out people that do these things, so I have to do it myself. I know that I've already burned my bridge with her and will never be featured on Women of Illustration again. I don't care. This is so much more important than an Instagram feature. And the fact that she even had to bring that up is telling how important she thinks it is. I know that she's going to be pissed and will probably try to send her followers to attack me. I don't care. Being anti-racist means putting yourself on the line, and even though I'm scared and uncomfortable, I'm going to do it. I didn't want to even talk about this week because I don't want to center myself in any way. Ha! But I'm the only one that knows the full story, and I've been asked to share it. Always, I know she will probably try to justify her actions in some way to make me look bad and make herself seem like she truly cares, which she is great at doing. That is projection. That is pure, unfiltered, unadulterated, distilled projection. But I don't care. You can listen to her words with your own ears, and I'm happy to send you the link to the podcast. Please share this to your story. Let people know to read all the slides. I know that I don't have anywhere near the reach that she has, but I hope to educate as many people as I can so that they can make their own decisions about supporting Lettershop and Women of Illustration. I love you all, and I'm so sorry that I ever modeled for her, shared her apparel, promoted her shop, shared her art, introduced you to her in any way. And I guess this is the message that she sent her. Yeah, she pushed this shit super hard. For hours and days. Yeah, I'm told that she pushed this super hard. I was reading chat, trying to catch up what you guys were saying. It sounds like you guys are just co-signing. It looks like you guys are just co-signing things that I was saying. You were on unemployment watching that shit like a telenovela? That's funny. I haven't gotten unemployment since the year 2014. So I'm hoping my taxes aren't fucked up this year. Because I've just been literally subsisting off the kindness of strangers through the stream since I lost my job, or since I left my job last September. But let's read this message here. I'm really sad that you have a collective following of over 600,000 people between here and Women of Illustration, and you haven't spoken out about the George Floyd murder or anything to do with any of the terrible things that people of color have been facing. And that is almost verbatim what I would have said to her in our conversation had she actually reached out and let me help her when I gave her the opportunity to do the right thing. I would have said to her, I'm really sad that you have a collective following of over like 150,000 people between here and all of your Instagram accounts, and you haven't spoken directly about your past using the N-word, and you haven't shouted me out as someone that you know you have bad history with and that is trying to reach out to have conversations with you. It's really disappointing to see someone that profits off of the work of black women and their bodies by adding them to your illustrations not stand up for them when it really matters. And likewise with Darra, it was disappointing to me to see how many black women modeled her stuff, collaborated with her and all that stuff when the one black person that she was a piece of shit to, and like I said, I'm not even the only one. I'm sure I'm just the only vocal one. She ignored me, left me on block, left me on red. You know what I mean? You have a lot of power in those followers, not to mention TikTok, that you could make a difference, and it's really sad to see that you only represent POC when it's convenient or profitable. Likewise, just the amount of I can receive stars, Mike Kim. If you want to send me stars, I can receive them. I just don't have my star ticker up because I'm stupid. Let me do that again really quick. Hang on. I'll put that down there. Likewise, just the amount of followers that I have gotten since I called Darra out has changed my entire everything. My entire platform has changed all of my shit, right? Like, my algorithm is super fucking hitting now. Super hitting. My audience is huge now, just from calling her out. Can you imagine if she actually shouted me out and actually straight up gave me followers? Are you kidding me? So, but she only wanted to acknowledge me when it was to be a character witness for her, to talk about her growth as a person, right? To big her brand up. Disgusting. Not speaking out at this point is becoming part of the problem. I truly hope you think about that and use your platform to make a difference. And it's even more disgusting to me that we were at the same protest, right? I can guarantee that she was not there when people were getting fucking shield bashed, when people were on their knees with their hands up and the police were beating the shit out of us. I promise you that Darra was not there. Guess who was there? Some of you might have even seen my fucking coverage of that. I was there specifically so that people could see this is how the police treat us. This is how the police treat this movement. This is what people think of this. It wasn't just so I could walk around, take some pictures of myself holding a sign for a couple hours, and then go home once the sun went down because curfew is about to take effect, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Whoops, I'm sorry. Additional reparations, $10. I'm sorry. I don't know who that was from, but I appreciate that. I'm not going to shit on you. I don't know who you are or what you're from, but I know you can't see anything now. I just changed it because I was done with that. But I appreciate all the tips that everybody sent me today. Like I said, if you want to contribute to my stream, endlesscemetery.com. That is my simultaneous link tree and tip jar. So if you want to see any of my past VODs, all of my content basically sits there, and you can go through any of my links to follow whatever your platform of choice is: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And yes, I was out there almost every day. I couldn't be out there every day because I was splitting time between my job. And that was another thing that pissed me off about my job at the time was, there was a moment where I fell. There was the moment where the police were rushing us. They were pushing us. Some of you might have even seen it on stream and been worried, where I was on the front filming the police and they pushed us and we were all trying to run and I was trying to run and I tripped and fell. And I thought I was going to get trampled. I genuinely believed that if I wasn't about to die, I was about to get very seriously injured. But what ended up happening actually was that people in the crowd picked me up. People reached, just like it was a mosh pit or something. Like, people reached down, picked me up, made sure I was good, and we all kept running. As a consequence of that, I figured I had been exposed to COVID because this was during COVID, right? So I informed my job, hey, I was in the protest last night. I was not socially distanced. I was in very close proximity with an innumerable amount of people. And I had physical contact with at least 5 or 6 people. So in the interest of protecting my fellow workers, I am going to remove myself from here, get a COVID test, and I will return once I have negative results of the test. So I sat on my ass at home for 3 or 4 days waiting for the results of this COVID test, because this was before the rapid test and that stuff was out. So it took a little while to get your results. They burned all of my sick days. Not even because I was sick. I was literally just home waiting for my COVID test results. So they burned all of my sick days doing that. So if I were to get COVID later on down the line at some point, I would have been fucked because I didn't have any more sick days. So that's that. I just want to flash this one more time. And on that note, it's an anti-police stream, ACAB, abolish the police, abolish prisons, abolish slavery. And I feel like I'm pretty much spent on that one. This is a 2-hour-long stream of me just talking about various issues. If anybody has got any questions, anything specific they want to ask me, now's the time, because I'm probably going to end it in about 10 minutes or so. I want to go get me a nice fucking fat bowl of pho. What is my ideal alternative to prisons? I feel like the Scandinavian method works fairly well, where you have facilities that people can go to that are like reform facilities that you're not in like fucking like torturous conditions, right? It's basically like a condo that you live in that you can leave. You're supervised, obviously, if you're like a serial killer or some crazy shit like that. But in my ideal situation, we would have, because America, we don't have universal health care. We don't have mental health taken care of like that. In America, mental health only gets brought up when we want to excuse white people that shoot up their school or something like that, right? So for me, abolishing the police comes with Medicare for all, which includes legalizing drugs and having safe injection sites and places where you can be dosed under medical supervision so that you can wean yourself off of the drug, or at the very least not be in a fucking gutter somewhere overdosing and dying because you're afraid to get kicked out by your family or get thrown in jail for the rest of your life because you're sick, right? So you have medical supervision while you're using whatever drug you're on and trying to get off of. And also that comes with robust mental health, both facilities as well as personal care, so that the number of instances of people having episodes in public that lead to things like arrest or shootings, like that black woman with a knife who was recently murdered by police. I shouldn't say murdered because murder is a legal term. She was recently killed by police. That will happen less often, right? So that the stragglers you have are just like domestic disputes, that sort of thing that can be handled by a robust community policing type of institution, to where members of the community that have that proper training and de-escalation and so on and so forth will be able to come in and step in and address these issues without hauling people off to fucking jail to make someone that owns the jail money, right? And the Scandinavian facilities are technically prisons, but here in America, prisons are literally just cages. Like, you get caged like a zoo animal. And we have solitary confinement here, which is considered to be torture. You can be tortured legally in America as an American citizen. Barring the fact that they can use banned chemical warfare on you by means of tear gas and usage of LRADs and that kind of stuff that's actually banned by the Geneva Convention. I don't know why it makes sense to people that things that they're not, that our military is not allowed to use against enemy combatants overseas, why that is now okay to use against unarmed protesters. Thank you, Big Richard Lizardman. I appreciate that. Why that's okay to use against unarmed protesters on American soil. How that makes sense to people, I have no fucking clue. But also, they can black bag you. That stuff is not exclusive to places like Bulgaria. Here, there's snatch squads. I had my former roommate, who was a community organizer by the name of Isaac, who told us about how they had vans and people just snatching people off the streets with no type of identification or no type of indication that they were agents of the state. They'll throw you in solitary confinement and leave you there and forget about you. That's happened to me before. I was put in solitary confinement and forgotten about for like 12 hours behind a weed charge, something that's not even illegal in America anymore. The prison system itself. And here's the other thing, right, is that you can get drugs in jail. There is a world within a world, separate from the world inside the prison system, where all the same social ills take place. And that's why a lot of people who go to prison, especially federal prison, will come out even worse than when they went in, because there's drug dealing, there's murder, there's gangs, there's prostitution. There's everything that society condemns as wrong, minus that last bit, because sex work is work. All that is in jail, right? So the prison system is fucked when even the medieval torturers wouldn't use solitary confinement because it was too brutal. Absolutely. That's true, Buckarix. That's absolutely correct. a lot of the things that we do to our citizens here in America because they're black or they're too poor. And that's another thing is the cash bail system. There's a person in Texas who died of COVID waiting for their trial because they didn't have enough money for bail. That's literally it. We have a cash bail system to where you can stay in jail and be stuck there for a long time just because you don't have enough money to pay for bail. COs, COs that sell drugs. Corrections officers, they sell drugs. They have sexual relationships with prisoners. They form their own gangs, run their own gangs. The police, there's research done, and the FBI is trying to address gangs within the police, gangs within the military. I'm sure the hot thing in the news right now is the fact that they're trying to address all of the white supremacy in the United States Armed Forces right now. I personally know people that have referred to Arab people overseas when they were in the military as Hajis, which is a slur that I hope I don't get banned for. But yeah, we have such a fucked up system, and I won't say it's broken because it's working exactly how it was designed to work from the very beginning, from the very start. And that's what the liberals don't understand. They believe that everything can be reformed, right? We just that's what the Joe Biden stance is. We need to actually throw more money at the police, even though the police get richer and richer every year. The problem just gets worse and worse, right? And it's not even that the problem gets worse and worse. It's that it's more televised now because camera phones exist now, right? The police brutality is not new. The camera phone is. A Scandinavian system would be pretty pog here in the States, but only because the system we already have is so fucking brutal. Poggers to me would be socialism on its way to communism. Poggers to me would be Medicare for all. Everyone has housing. Everyone has food. Everyone has mental health care. Poggers to me is everyone has their needs met because we live in a society now. We live in a society now where we have millions of abandoned homes, but people freeze to death on the street because they're homeless. We have a society now where children across the country go hungry, go without shoes, things like that, and the police guard the dumpsters so that people can't dumpster dive to get basic necessities that get thrown away and go to waste. That's capitalism. Capitalism is where you have to throw away food because you can't make money off of it. And as a personal story, my first job was at GameStop, right? And we used to have a thing called pennying out, which is basically dumping, right? If there was a strategy guide for a game, like say we had a strategy guide for NBA 2011, right? Clearly nobody's fucking buying that. So in the system, they'll price it down to 1 penny, which means throw it in the dumpster. Now, people did not know this at first. I know I didn't know this until I started working at GameStop, that at the time you could actually dumpster dive GameStop and get some pretty cool stuff. There's some stuff sitting on my shelf right now that I took home instead of putting in the dumpster because I thought putting it in the dumpster was excessive. How could I know that to the CEOs and the higher ups at GameStop, just putting it in the dumpster was not enough? If it was an old controller for an old system, like a PS2 controller or something, not only were you supposed to put it in a dumpster, you were supposed to take some scissors and cut the cable so that no one could use it, even if they went into the dumpster and got it. If there was an old game that you had to throw out, you were supposed to scratch the disc to shit. And I mean label side. So there is no recovering that data. So no one can play that game. If there is an old system, same deal. You're supposed to fuck with the lens or whatever so that no one can use that system. It's literally garbage because the company cannot make money off of it. Right? It's taking up space. Get it out of there and make sure nobody can enjoy it because they should have bought it. They should have gave us money for it if they wanted it, right? And that's capitalism. Why do they not have a free bin instead of dumping? Because they don't make money off of free. They don't make money off of free. That's capitalism. You don't do shit for free. Everything's got to be for profit. Even nonprofits are for profit, right? You have charity and all this shit that's just tax write-offs for rich people. And you have people making money off of disasters. There's people getting $7,000 electric bills in Texas right now because clearly the demand for electricity in Texas is pretty fucking high. And that's just basic supply and demand economics, right? Basic capitalism. The more people want something, the more it costs, right? That's just how it works. But I'm going to leave y'all with that. Like I said, I want to get myself a nice big fat bowl of pho. I'm going to probably do that with the dono that Big Richard Lizardman just gave me. Shout out to Big Richard Lizardman. Part of the Big Richard Lizard plan. And thank everyone for watching and sticking with me this far as you've come with me here. I will be back live again, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 10 p.m. New York time to compete in the ESL Mortal Kombat 11 online PS4 tournament. If there is no tournament for whatever reason, I'll just play some Combat League and we can hang out and you guys can ask me more questions and stuff. But I'm hungry and I'm cold. Not cold, but I want some warm in my belly. I want some soup in me. And I appreciate all of the donations, all the follows, all the people that are supporting me and boosting my platform. I literally would not be able to survive without you all because, like I said, since leaving my job last September and since my mother got COVID, I burned through all of my savings in like October. I've just been living off of the kindness of strangers, of people like you. So I appreciate you all. I thank you very, very much. I will be live again later on, like I said, in about 5 hours. So thanks again. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy. And